Hello and welcome to a Genie demo. Genie makes creating microlearning quick and easy. In this video, I'm going to prove that. We're going to start by creating a short quest together. So why don't you log into your Genie account and then we can start building and you can copy what I do so that you can get to grips with Genie nice and quickly. In this unit, I'll show you how to create a quest, different upload types and file types, as well as give you some more general best practice advice. So let's get started. First, I'd like to show you my script. What I've got here is a document which has all of my slides pre-written with the unit title at the top, a unit description, and then I've arranged it by slide. So slide 1 there, and then underneath I have the title, and then underneath that I have the text. And then if you look at my folder, I've got a pre-made folder which has all of my images for this particular unit pre-saved. A little bit of organization up front makes all your content creation much quicker once you get started. So first things first, click Create New Quest, and this will bring up the Genie Quest Creation Wizard. You want to put your project title in there. So I've already prepared mine. It's called Genie Demo, Building Content Your Learners Will Love. And then I need a description as well. So my description reads, Genie helps you build engaging microlearning quicker than you ever thought possible. In this quest, we'll show you a perfect example of what Genie can do. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it straight in there using Control-C, Control-V. And then you'll notice that it's drag file here or browse. So I'm going to click browse. And then it's brought up my Genie demo folder that I've pre-prepared, and I've got my title image there. Simply click open and it inserts in there and looks great. So hit save. And then you'll see I've got lots of folders from previous units I've created. There's a lot of folders there, so you can see I use Genie a lot. So we're going to create a new folder and we'll call this one Genie Demo. Obviously you can call yours whatever you like. And then you want to hit add new and then browse, or you can drag and drop if that's easy for you, and then select the images you want. If you want to multi-select, hold down Control and you can select more than one image at once. Then simply select open. These images are now saved in my Genie library, so I'll hit next. And then I can also add new questions. I've already built my question folder. It's called Genie Hero. Going to hit open and you'll see I've got my questions here. But the same process would apply as before. If you wanted to create a new folder, simply create your new folder and then name it. Next, I can add badges. Again, you'll notice I've been one step ahead and added a badge folder as well. I've called that one Genie Hero to keep things simple. Next again is picking your game template. I say game template, it doesn't have to have a game mechanic attached. It can be a simple branded option. You'll notice we've got a wide range of different templates on the platform in all sorts of different brands. But I, for convenience, and I'm going to stick with a quick quest for now. But it's worth noting game templates are a great way to make your content more exciting. And if you get branded templates, it makes your content much easier and faster to create. You don't have to worry about fonts or colors or alignment or any of that stuff. You simply copy and paste your content in or write it in the editor if you prefer, and then just keep going. And then it'll all automatically format for you, which is nice and simple. So you'll see that we've now got the full Genie screen here. This is the content builder. Up here you can preview, publish, change the view. Over here you've got your quest details, which we put in at the beginning of the wizard. And then here you've got three options: slides, configure slides, and settings. Slides is nice and simple. We'll get used to slides in a minute. You simply add your content, choose the content type, drop it in. And then once you've got enough content, you can use arrows either side to arrange it into the right order. I'll show you more about that in a minute. And then you've got configure slide. This is basically, think of this as your text editor. When you insert text, you're able to jump into your slide configuration and make changes. And then finally, you've got settings. What makes settings different from the other slides or tabs is that you can make changes that apply to the whole unit, and we'll go into a bit more detail on those in a minute as well. So let's start with our first slide. So our first slide, checking it, is going to be an image slide. So add new content, image, and we've got Genie demo here, so we'll open that, and you'll see we've got slide 1 pre-labeled, so that makes it nice and simple, and then simply hit select, and that will drop your image in for you, and it sits nice and tightly at the top of the screen. And then I'll copy and paste my title in, which is called Images Bring Your Quest to Life. So the text on this slide is all about the importance of images, because research has shown that if your content is filled with attractive imagery and it's got lots of colour and things like that, and it's not full of beige stock imagery, it's much more engaging, which means that you can have, you can capture the attention of your audience. They'll focus for longer. It can improve retention rates and even the memory performance of learners. So such a simple thing as improving the images in your content can have a profound difference on how much your learners enjoy completing it and how much value they get from it. So we'll leave that like that for now. Click Update and you'll see it appears straight in there, which makes editing content so easy. But you'll notice as I scroll, the title slides underneath the image. For an image like this, I'm going to mark it as a scrollable asset and then again click Update. Now, having it as a scrollable asset basically means the image slides up the screen with the text. If you choose not to make it scrollable, that can be really helpful if the image isn't just there to make it look pretty, but is actually an instructional asset that helps the text make sense. That way, the text slides underneath the image and it remains on screen. So, on to slide 2, which is all about audio. So, add new content, audio, we'll return to library, head to Genie Hero. Now I've got it saved here as slide 2 audio. I'm going to slot that in and then press play to listen. I'm going to put that on this one because it's an audio file and you'll see it appears there as audio, and I'm instructing the learner to hit play to listen. Now what I'm doing with this piece of content is explaining the value of audio. And basically, the key thing here is audio is a really great way to engage your learners. And think bigger than just voiceover, because audio is now one of the most popular formats for people to learn outside of work. There's a reason that there are over 60 million podcast episodes worldwide. Essentially, I think people like audio because it makes people feel more at ease. Done right, it's more like listening or chatting to a friend than it is listening to health and safety training. So I'm going to hit update again and you'll see that it quickly populates. We'll move on to the next slide. So this is a video slide and you'll notice I've explained where I've saved it because I've used this video before. So rather than re-upload the same video, I am going to upload video simply by clicking add new content and then selecting video. And then I'll return to library and then we shall scroll down to Genie Shop, which is where I've saved this particular video. Open Game Demos, Fixed Action Rewards is the name of this video. And you'll see it appears in there and you can play it live like that. Cool, so I'm going to drop the text in there, which is the title. Again, I'm instructing the learner, press play to watch the video. That way, it seems obvious, but some people find it really helpful just to have those little instructions. Otherwise, they can get a tiny bit confused. And I've just added a little stat in this text here that says, did you know your learners are 75% more likely to watch a video than they are to read text? And that just goes to show, how powerful video can be. And so we'll navigate straight back to the slide section. And you'll notice this little padlock next to the audio and the video slides. This padlock basically gives you control over whether your learners have to watch or listen to the entire video before they're able to proceed. You can unlock it and it will see slide has been unlocked. The learner can skip the content if they wish. Now, I think that's kinder, but of course, if it's compliant content or whatever it is you're creating, it might be better to have it locked. But generally, growth engineering, our feeling is if your content's engaging enough, they won't want to skip it anyway. So on to slide 4, which I've saved under Genie Hero. And this is our first question slide. So we'll go to add new like before, and then navigate to the top where you've got questions. Now with questions, you've got a lot of different question types you can choose from. And you'll recognize, I expect, almost all of them, except perhaps dialogue at the bottom, which we'll look at in just 1 minute. But for now, we'll navigate to Genie Hero and use a classic multi-choice question, which is, for a lot of instructional designers, their bread and butter. So it says here, I've got, you can use questions to keep learners engaged, check their knowledge, or to help them learn. Whatever your goal, Genie can help. In fact, Genie comes preloaded with a range of different question types. Out of the following, which isn't a question type available on Genie? So you'll recognize from the nature of that text that that is the question. And that's just simply been put in this plain text field. You copy and paste that in or write it immediately in there. And then you can add tags if you want to make it searchable. And then you can add your answers in this section here, and you can add as many as you like without limit. I'm going to delete these ones because I don't need 7 answers. I've got 4 for now, and that'll do me fine. And then you can simply slide on the right hand side, red, green. Red means it's not the correct answer. Green means it is. You can have as many correct or incorrect answers as you like. For now, I'm going to leave this one, spot the difference, as the correct answer because Genie doesn't have any spot the difference questions. But if you're interested, you could easily make a spot the difference question by assigning an asset to a question. And then you can just upload your assets like usual and then preview them or add them if you like. So just as an example, if we scroll down, you'll see that I've got slide 1 here, which is an image we used last time. If we wanted, we could just click add, pop that into the question. It's incredibly simple. And then positive feedback and negative feedback. Incredibly important if you want your learners to grow rather than just tick boxes. In this case, I put correct. Genie has lots of question types, but spot the difference isn't one of them. So I'm letting them know they're right and also giving them, the explanation as to why they're right. If it was a more complicated question, perhaps a soft skills topic, you might think it was appropriate to then add a download in this section, or some more imagery or a video or something else to help set your learner back on the right path. If you wanted to do that, simply assign an asset to the negative and to the positive feedback by clicking the plus button here. It's incredibly simple. Now I'm just going to click close and then jump back in and then I'm going to select my question, and you'll see it simply slots on the left hand side. And then if you scroll down, you'll notice you've got different points here. Points are just a fun gamification feature that make your content more enjoyable for your learners. The one next to the trophy is basically points awarded to your learner if they get the content right. Anywhere between 0 and 100. Now I like to give around 50 points for that. And then you've also got bonus points. Now I love bonus points. I find they're an incredibly effective way of making sure your learners feel the pressure and enjoy the question. Basically, you select how many bonus points you want to award, hit update, and you'll notice appears on screen a countdown timer. Now, as the points count down, your learners basically have that much time left to answer the question before they don't get any bonus points. Once they've answered the question correctly, however many bonus points are left on screen are how many bonus points they're awarded. I love to add bonus points to any of my questions where it feels appropriate. So next question, moving on, slide 5, saved under the same folder, and is a dialogue question. Okay, questions. And now look, it's in the same folder and it's a dialogue question. Now I love dialogue questions. What they do is simulate a real life scenario. So they're really a form of scenario based questions that you can quickly whip up and then test your learners on. So you add a description. I've just popped in here, read the conversation below to learn more about dialogue questions. and I've added in player 1, player 2 names, female and male. So you've got Diane and Logan, a little bit of a play on words there. And it starts off with Diane asking Logan a question. Hi Logan, I've been creating quests using Genie for the first time today. I was wondering if you could help me understand more about dialogue questions. Logan responds, sure Diane, no problem. First, do you know what a scenario-based question is? Diane replies, yes, sure, you present learners with a hypothetical situation and they work out how to respond. So this is obviously captivating dialogue. And that's what you really want to aim for in this sort of question, is just something low-key and simple that learners can then review, and you can then ask a question based on the conversation. So this is perfect for sales training or front of house training or compliance or all sorts of things. You can ask your learners to review conversations and basically think about how they would respond. You might have noticed that I just hit an underline to fix a spelling mistake. Just a little top tip is if you install the Grammarly plugin on your browser, it can just help you pick up any small spelling mistakes. So in this case, I've chosen a true or false question. Dialogue questions are a great way to help your learners understand how training relates to real life situations. Obviously, you'll know that the answer is true based on what I just said. And then I've got some positive, negative feedback as before. So yeah, just going to pop in my dialogue question now and select. And again, I'm not going to add bonus points this time, but I am going to leave my points awarded for getting it correct full. The reason I'm not going to add points, whoopsie, is because first off, it's quite a long question and I want them to read it through. But secondly, I also want the learners to reflect on the situation. This isn't somewhere where I want to add pressure. I would rather they think about it and answer as properly as they can. Great. So we'll click update and then we will move on to our last slide, which is gaining by gaming. So add new content, image, and then if we return to library, scroll up to the top, Genie demo, open, slide 6, and then we click select. And now we're going to insert the title here and insert the copy underneath in this section here. Now just a few notes on inserting text. You've also got all these word editing function I've not really mentioned yet. But just to give you some examples, this won't look very pretty, but it will be illustrative. You can make things bold, italics, underline. You can, change the color if you like. So I'll make it bright orange. You can change the alignment. You can do all sorts of things. I might make it a bullet point as well. And obviously that's not the most attractive thing you've ever seen, but it demonstrates the level of control you have, is comparable to a lot of the text editing functions you might be used to. Now, I'm not particularly proud of the layout here, so I won't click update so that won't save it. But you'll see I've got all of my slides laid out here, and that's nice and simple. So next step is to add a badge. We are going to add a badge to the whole unit. I'm just going to leave that slide as it's not very nice to look at. You can add experience points by dragging this along here. So experience points, when awarded to the whole unit, basically award the learner with points upon completion, provided that they have completed or passed the unit to your set percentage. So in this case, we've only got 2 questions. So I'm going to make it 50%. They only have to pass 50% to be able to complete the unit. If they don't get 50%, then they won't get the points and the badge, and they won't be allowed to have it marked off as finished in your learning management platform. I'm now going to scroll up. We can add a badge. Now we've got a Genie Hero badge pre-made. And I'm just going to show you what that looks like that. And then we're going to hit edit, and you'll see that we can add text there, and I've called it Badge of Honor. And there's some very simple text here just outlining why your learner has succeeded. And typically with badges, it's good to be superlative and to encourage your learners, and where you can, a bit of wordplay never goes amiss. So we'll hit back and then we'll select insert. Moving down, you've got the option to add a leaderboard. If your learning management system doesn't have gamification functionality, then a leaderboard is essential. Leaderboards help your learners to engage with the content. They add an element of competition. They make the whole experience that little bit more fun. You can also add wildcards. These are comparable to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire handy hints like 50-50 and Phone a Friend. By adding wildcards, your learners are then able to make those tough questions that little bit more manageable. It can be a fun reward for learners who've done particularly well. And what I would add with wildcards is just that you need to go back into your questions and make sure that you've added a handy hint so that if your learners choose to get a hint, they can do. And then finally at the bottom, we can change our game template. So earlier on, I had it marked out as a quick quest, but if we want to, we could maybe go along and add mining blocks, Total Recall, Funfair Edition, Pirate Blocks, or a recent game called Chill Art, which rather than focusing on excitement and competition, is more focused on the learner taking time to reflect, and it calms them down and it gets them in the right frame of mind for learning. There's a big relationship between relaxation and your ability to absorb content. So Chill Art is a really great game template to use if you've got a particularly tough piece of content. Whereas if you want to incentivize your learners to complete more content, then pop a game template on the end and it acts as an incentive to draw your learners through the content. And if they pass, they then get to enjoy a fun game. It's important that gamification never gets in the way of learning and instead encourages it and feeds it, which is why our game templates typically go on the end of content. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. But that is a very simple Genie quest, and it took me 20 minutes just to run you through it. But once you get proficient at Genie and you're not explaining it and giving a demonstration, you'll be able to create content of this length in 10 minutes or less. And if you want to create content that will take your learners 10 to 20 minutes, which is a very long time for microlearning, but helpful for an example, then you could be talking, it will take you under an hour to create that sort of content, provided you've got things ready. It's just simply a case, as you've seen, of adding the content, adding the text, and then once you've got a template assigned, it formats it all perfectly for you. So it's incredibly simple. Genie's actually quite fun to use. And it makes perfectly mobile optimized or web ready content at the click of a button. Click update and then it's saved. The last step is either, if you're connecting your content to a mobile app, hit publish, or alternatively go back to your content homepage and you then have the final options to preview it, which we won't do now, but you can preview it on your own. You can export it as SCORM 1.2, 2004, XAPI, CMI5, or as a Genie file. Delete it, but we won't delete our precious content, or you can duplicate it. With that, I will thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy Genie. And if you have any questions about using Genie, please do get in touch. We'll be happy to help.